Who's a good doggy? Who's a good doggy? You're a good doggy. So you can open up with your Bennett, just pop some ults real quick, then swap real quick here, and then we're gonna go to our Xiangling and pop our ultimate and Guoba, and just keep on dishing damage to these high level slimes, level 72. Hey, what's up guys? This is Alex, and today we're going to be playing Genshin Impact, and we're bringing you guys an updated guide on Xiangling. This dog is madly impressed. Look at how he's staring at us, just our amazing skills. Look, he's there. He's literally watching us. So fat, so fast. So before we actually dig in on this guide, first of all, Xiangling is my secondary DPS. So obviously my best gear is going to be on my Razor, which is why his attack is so high. Her attack is a little bit lower, but she will still serve both as a DPS, but also as a support DPS in my case. Now for a weapon, I was lucky enough to pull a Skyward Spine. Obviously, a lot of you guys might not run this exact weapon. In my case, it does have energy recharge, which I like on this character because your ultimate is going to be very useful. But some of the other useful, very useful weapons are going to be the following ones. So probably one of the best weapon you could get on a Xiangling DPS is the Crescent Pike. And for multiple reasons. Well, first of all, it does roll physical damage bonus over here along its base attack, which is very good. The refinement rank is going to be somewhat easy to get to 5-star, considering it is requiring materials like the ores and the prototype weapons. And finally, after picking up elemental orbs and particles, normal and charge attack deal an additional 20% attack damage for 5 seconds. So the uptime on this is extremely high because you can get these fairly easily. Now obviously this value is going to go up quite a bit as you refine it as well, which is also going to increase your damage quite drastically. Now, one of the other weapons that you could actually run that could be decent on this character is Dragon's Bane, because it does increase your base attack and elemental mastery, although it might not benefit as much as some of the other weapons that I've mentioned. Also, increase damage against enemies affected by Hydro or Pyro by 24%. I mean, in this case, it would be 12% because mine is level 2. It is still a significant upgrade, but I feel that the Crescent Pike might be a better option. Now, finally, you can still use the Prototype Grudge if it's what you went for. It does have energy recharge on it, which is also going to be useful to build like a more supporty character that depends on its ult a bit more. After using Elemental Skill, increase normal damage and charge attack damage by 8% for 12 seconds, max 2 stack. This is not as great, but overall it can still be a decent weapon. Now if you are still in the early parts of the game, obviously the Black Tassel and the White Tassel can be good options. Black Tassel more if you're dealing with a lot of slimes and having trouble and want like a specific character against slimes, and the White Tassel is just very crit oriented and also increase normal damage, so it can also be useful low level. Now for the overall character stats, obviously since she is level 80, she does have some decent base stats. The crit rate is nearly 50% and her crit damage is somewhat low, only 60%. It could go a little bit higher. Energy recharge is fairly high, which is quite convenient whenever you want to pop that ult as soon as possible. Obviously if you can get a little bit of pyro damage, it could also help whenever she plays a more supportive role. Physical damage bonus is going to be very also useful whenever playing more like a main DPS role, or for example if you split her in 2 different teams in Abyss, like your main DPS team and your secondary DPS team, she could be your second team main DPS. Now for the artifacts, right now we are rocking 2 different set pieces, 2 pieces of Gladiator for the attack percentage and 2 pieces of Berserker for a bit of higher crit rate. Obviously since she is my second main DPS, she does not get the best loot of them all, but she still gets decent stuff. So for the rose right now, she's only getting a +0 rose, but it is a Gladiator 5-star rose, which rolled somewhat interestingly. The attack percentage and a little bit of elemental mastery. I don't really care about the HP and defense all that much, to be honest. For her feather, she is using a +16 feather, obviously, because it's very important to run at least fully maxed feathers on your DPS characters, and also some of your support, depending on if they scale with attack or not. Now this feather did roll attack percentage as well, and a little bit of energy recharge, which are the 2 main stats, and it also completes my 2 set piece of Gladiator. She is running a piece that is not part of any set I'm completing. However, there is 38.7 energy recharge on there and some crit damage, which can always be useful for her role. She is using a physical damage goblet right now, which is part of the Berserker set. You could also run a pyro damage bonus goblet as well. It would just shift a little bit how she would be played, but overall as a secondary or support DPS, those are pretty much, or even two-piece of witch set. There's a lot of good options that you could run for sets. Just try to go for the most offensive ones that you have available. Now for this last piece, I'm also running Berserker just to get that 12% free crit rate, which is quite convenient, and this mask also roll crit rate as well, so it does boost the overall crit rate of the character. Unfortunately, these stats are all very defensive, so it is not perfect in my case. Obviously, as we will keep playing the game and get stronger, we will be able to optimize her gear quite a bit more. Now for Xiangling's talents, depending if she's going to be a main DPS for you or a secondary DPS, do try to level up her basic attacks, obviously. The Guoba and the ultimate are also going to be very important to level up, but in all cases it's going to be very useful. Obviously it does require books of diligence, so if you have characters that share these, it's going to be a bit of a problem long term. And also once you reach level 6, here it says nice because the constellation gives me +3 levels, but at level 6, they start requiring weekly materials from weekly bosses. These are kind of hard to get to, so it's going to really slow down your progress for leveling up talents. So basic attack, Guoba, just a bit more damage. Does the ultimate also doing a bit more damage. The ultimate here is just a spiral, it's very good. Crossfire, which you unlock, increase the flame range of Guoba by 20%. And then Beware Super Hot is that once you reach level 70 with this character, you are going to have little peppers that are going to spawn, and once you pick them up, it is going to increase your attack by 10% for 10 seconds. So a neat little way to increase your damage a little bit. I would personally like these peppers to be a little bit more magnet wise to like leech on your character whenever you're close, but unfortunately you kind of have to walk right on them. And our last talent is a bit more unrelated as it affects mostly whenever you're cooking. For Xiangling's constellation, these constellations are somewhat easy to get even as a free-to-play player if you went pretty hard on the Venti banner. The first constellation is always very good. Enemies hit by Guoba's power attack have power resistance reduced by 15% every 6 seconds, so that's always pretty convenient whenever you use Guoba first and then you pop your ultimate. Now for Oil Meets Fire, your last attack of your normal attack sequence will apply the implode status for 2 seconds, and after that the explosion will occur. It's going to deal 75% of Xiangling's attack as AoE pyro damage, so that's a neat little way to add fire to your normal attacks. Slow Bake is going to increase the duration of your ultimate by 40%, so this is extremely good, obviously for a support DPS or secondary DPS. Guoba Mad is just going to increase the Guoba level by 3, pretty straightforward for the 3rd and 5th constellation. And finally, the last constellation, for the duration of the ultimate, all party members receive a 15% power damage bonus. Now we are in the Abyss, floor 9, chamber 1, just to give you a quick look at what type of damage she can actually do. This floor is actually quite convenient for Xiangling as it is packed with electro slime. So let's see how it goes. So you can open up with your Bennett, just pop some ults real quick, then swap real quick here, and then we're gonna go to our Xiangling and pop our ultimate and Guoba, and just keep on dishing damage to these high level slimes, level 72. Obviously Fire Egg does a whole lot against Electro, so she's especially useful here. And if you guys look at the bottom right corner, you can actually see how fast our energy recharge is actually building. We do need to be careful against these slimes, as once they are together, they will be zapping us pretty hard like you've just seen. So it is a pretty tough level if you don't have a whole lot of fire to actually deal with this little problem. But overall, she is dealing pretty consistent damage. Alright guys, I hope that you found this character guide on Xiangling very useful. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. You can also join us on our Discord if you would like to. The link is going to be in the description box, guys. So thanks again for watching and have a good day.